said you were a fan of Brock's, before you came to the UFC. Now you've gotten to spend a little time around him, filming promos and taking pictures and stuff like that. What are your impressions of him now that you've had some time around him versus what your expectations are?
Yeah, I don't really have any expectations of him. Emotionally, there's not really any emotion. All I can say, I'm trained. I feel good. My shape is there, my conditioning is there, and I'm really looking forward to fighting Mr. Lesnar for this Friday.
All right, Alistair, I think I saw that you predicted a first-round knockout in this. Why so confident?
It's more if I look at a fight analytically, the type of fighter that I am, the type of fighter that Brock is, we're not the guys that wanted to go to the second round. I mean, he's gonna, judging him from his character in his previous fights, he's gonna come in for the kill, and so am I. So 1 + 1 is 2.
Are you surprised you're a favorite?
No, not really, because of course, I've been cleaning house overseas. I have a lot of experience. This fight is going to be my 69th fight. I've been fighting for the last 14 years. When I was 19, I had the amount of fights that Brock has now. So, I understand a little bit.
And Dana, what for you? This contrast in styles, two huge guys like this, is this kind of like the ideal matchup?
Is it the what matchup?
Like the ideal matchup, contrast in styles, things like that.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those. This is the classic striker versus wrestler. I think that, I don't know anybody's game plan or what they're doing, but obviously Alistair is going to be looking to stay on his feet and try to knock Brock out, and Brock's going to try to get Alistair down, get him in that side control position that he does, and smash him. That's Brock's trademark move, and Alistair's is to stand up and knock you out with kicks, knees, or punches.
This question is for Alistair. You talk about all the fights that you have had and all the titles that you have held. But can you talk a little bit about you finally coming into the UFC? We talked a little bit last night about this being the biggest fight of your career, and it's been a long time coming, maybe a little sooner than you expected. I know the opponent that you expected to make your debut in the UFC. Can you talk a little bit about how you've been working with all that?
What was the question exactly?
It's coming to the UFC, even though you have been part of so many events, so many title fights and everything, but you're finally in the UFC.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm finally in the UFC. Basically, I already beat everybody outside of the UFC, so for me it was a logical next step. Didn't expect it to happen this soon. Thought it was going to be after the Strikeforce GP, but I got out because of an injury. So all I can say, I'm very happy with the UFC now, the biggest promotion in the world, and my goal is that UFC belt. Brock's in the way. Friday I'm going to beat him.
Questions for Brock. Questions for Brock and Alistair. What Dana was talking about, you got a wrestler versus a striker, and what have you guys done to prepare? Because obviously one's going to want to take it down, the other one's going to keep it standing up. So what have you guys done to prepare differently? Obviously Alistair's want to keep it standing up. Brock wants to take you down and ground and pound.
I'll go first. I think you should never underestimate your opponent. So I think what Brock does is pretty straightforward. I think he has got better in the stand-up because mixed martial arts is a very complete sport nowadays, and he needs to be less one-dimensional or more, get a better stand-up. So, but I'm ready for wherever the fight will go. If it's going to go to the ground, I'm ready. If it's going to be standing, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Talked yesterday, but yeah, I mean, what do you make of that when people say that and have really, I guess maybe not paid attention to you before, but who think that this is a gimme for Brock?
Once you start favorite in the fight, he's like a 1.5 favorite.
Yeah, another thing is once you start paying attention to what people write on the internet, if you start doing that, there's no end in sight. So better just focus on what you need to do. That's what I've been doing in training, and let the guessing for you guys.
Thanks.
Alistair, I know you're very much into titles and getting as many accolades as possible. If you do win the UFC heavyweight title at some point, I know that's a goal of yours, you'll be the first British-born UFC heavyweight champion and the first Dutch champion since Bas Rutten. Is this something that you think about? Is this something that you'd like to have one day on your resume?
Definitely. The UFC title would be the crown of my career, but let's not look ahead of things. Let's not look ahead of Brock Lesnar. focus on Friday, and then what comes after comes after. But the UFC title definitely is on my list.
Verdum, you kind of struggled in the third round. It seemed like you were a bit tired, even exhausted, I might say. What happened there, and can you assure it's not going to happen in this fight if it will actually come to the third round?
Well, what happened was, it may seem that not a lot happened in the fight, but a lot did happen. I mean, Verdum, in my opinion, is the best grappler in MMA. He had a very nice winning streak and a very strong win over Fedor. And he's definitely not an opponent to be taken lightly. I had some issues in the preparation of the fight. I broke my foot, which hampered me in some conditioning training, some running. I couldn't run anymore. Switched to swimming though. But it was all it was not optimal. And then in the fight, I broke my rib. So there were some factors. It was not the most beautiful performance, but nevertheless a dominant one. And then again, Verdum is not a guy to take lightly. He's a strong, dangerous opponent, and a clever fighter as well.
Thank you.
Brock Lesnar's brought in some great heavyweights like Pat Barry, and they were talking about his stand-up and how much he spent time working on his stand-up. Do you expect him to stand up with you at all, or just work for the takedown?
He will have to stand up with me because he's not going to get that takedown. And then we're going to see what his love is in the stand-up. I can tell you this, Pat Barry's not my level in the striking though.